As anticipation builds for a meeting between Presidents Trump and Putin, the White House has signaled that they are planning for Friday's summit without the attendance of Ukraine's president at Russia's request, while a possible trilateral summit is something the U.S. remains open to.
This is really a feel-out meeting, a little bit, and President Putin invited me to get involved. He wants to get involved. I believe he wants to get it over with. Now, I've said that a few times. And I've been disappointed because I'd have like a great call with him and then missiles would be lobbed into Kyiv or some other place and you'd have 60 people laying on a road dying. But I'm going to meet with him. We're going to see what the parameters are. And then I'm going to call up President Zelenskyy and the European leaders right after the meeting, yeah. And I'm going to tell them what kind of a deal. I'm not going to make a deal. It's not up to me to make a deal.
European Union leaders are expected to hold a virtual summit with Trump Wednesday to focus on pressure options against Russia, addressing issues related to Ukrainian territory seized by Russia, security guarantees for Ukraine, and how the potential peace talks might play out.
Right now, we are focusing on the preparation of this meeting. We will have calls tomorrow among leaders. The position is clear. We welcome the efforts by President Trump to reach peace for Ukraine, a peace that is just and lasting and respects sovereignty and territorial integrity. And in this sense, we are working with Ukraine to make sure that this is kept in mind in the meeting of Friday. Anything else is pure speculations at this stage.
Ukraine's president claimed Tuesday that Russia was merely using the Friday summit to buy time while preparing for new offensive operations, and balked at the notion of territorial swaps.
President Donald Trump announced preparations for his meeting with President Vladimir Putin in Alaska, very far away from this war, which is raging on our land, against our people, and which can't be ended without us, without Ukraine. Of course, we will not reward Russia for what it has perpetrated. The Ukrainian people deserve peace, but all partners must understand what a dignified peace is. The answer to the Ukrainian territorial question already is in the Constitution of Ukraine. No one will deviate from this, and no one will be able to. Ukrainians will not gift their land to the occupier.
A senior Kremlin aide confirmed the Friday meeting would focus on achieving a long-term peaceful resolution to the war.
Alaska and the Arctic are regions where the economic interests of our countries intersect, and there are clear prospects for implementing large-scale, mutually beneficial projects. Of course, the presidents themselves will undoubtedly focus on discussing options for achieving a long-term peaceful resolution to the Ukrainian crisis. In conclusion, I would like to note that in the coming days, Moscow and Washington will certainly devote themselves to the most active and intense preparations for the practical and political aspects of the Alaska summit. This will evidently be a challenging process, but we will engage in it actively and energetically.
As Europe and Ukraine seek to shape White House positions ahead of Friday's Alaska meeting.
European leaders are currently trying to strike a tricky balance between trying to keep the US on board because they are still dependent on US military assistance to some degree. They are only now gradually trying to bolster their defense capabilities and acquiring more independence from the US security umbrella. But on the other hand, indeed, they understand that they might have that there will be tensions between the US position and European leaders' position on what a durable ceasefire and acceptable terms for ending the war in Ukraine might be. So that is the tricky balance that European leaders are currently trying to navigate, and Ukraine is fully aware of this.
It's great to be with you.
Challenging and complex, with different interests seeking different outcomes. More than 3.5 years into Russia's ground invasion. Expectations of a deal to emerge from the Alaska meeting remain slim given the absence of Ukraine's leader from the summit, with President Zelenskyy emphatic that no decisions concerning Ukraine's future and the security of its people could be made without Ukraine's participation, as he pressed for sanctions to be strengthened against Russia as a pressure tactic to get Moscow to address substantive issues on ending the war. The United Nations has also insisted that any peace arrangement be in line with the UN Charter, General Assembly resolutions, and international law. Shervin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.